All right, here is the speed run of the Excel Esports case Power Gaming. So it has a bit of a old school Dungeons and Dragons type of flavor to it. Armor classes and attack bonuses, all those things. Um, so once my template is ready, so I'm going to sum to get all the numbers on the dice, right? It's a sequence of that, but I got to pull out the numbers, so only numbers of that. So that starts that one. Okay, to parse this, I'm going to do text split of this by multiple delimiters, which you could do like this, right? So the D and the plus are both going to count as my delimiters. Multiply by 1 to get make them actually numbers. So now I need the average of the sequence of the die number times the number of dice plus the extra bonus there. This I'm also going to use OA robot to turn into lambda just to save myself a second on the next step. All right, so save lambda as, and we'll call this average damage per hit, ADH, and fill that in for level 2, and move on to level 3. Now we're going to fight, right? So let's look at this. These I'm just going to stack up into one table because they're the same. No, not like that. Stack this up into one table, and then let's put in our average damage per hit that we just made a lambda for. There. This actually here, I'm just going to roll right over that since that's the format I'm going to need. Now let us do attacker, right? The attacker is going to go like this, and then defender is going to have the same stats, right? So XLOOKUP, we'll use the character level as a stand-in for their name, right? Lock all that, bring this over, all locked. And then apply the same thing to the defender, right? So now I need hit chance. Formula's right up there, right? So it is 21 minus defender's armor class plus attacker's attack bonus, all that over 20. But it's got to get clamped, right? I got a clamp lambda for that. Just, with the max and the min, it's got to be between 0 and 1. And then it says to put this as percentage points like that. There's level 3. Now we need the average damage per turn, right? Which is just the hit chance times the average damage per hit of the attacker, right? So that times 1,000 is the answer to level 4. Level 5, are we fighting each other yet? Yeah, we're fighting each other. All right, so now I need to do, this is still, right, the attacker and the defender, but I'm going to have both of them here. The rules are the same for both of them. Turns needed to kill the opponent is the opponent's hit points divided by my damage per turn as ceiling, right? So that's how many turns I need. Turns used, so it's the player who goes first, I always get my turn, so it's the minimum of those. For this, right, if this is less than or equal to this, that means I lost, in which case I missed out on 1 turn. So it's the minimum of that -1, otherwise it's the minimum of this. Because if I lose as the second player, that means I don't get to go. All right, turns use an opponent's HP remaining then is the opponent's HP minus my damage times the turns that were used in the combat. And then this is round the maximum of these to 0 places. Level 6, I just have to account for the multiple attacks, which is actually quite easy. They're just additive here in the hit chance, right? So just add 2 of these, and to the one of them I get a -5 penalty, the other one I get a -10 penalty. And the monster has the same rules, and that's level 6. Level 7, so this is the original combat. Here I'm going to figure out the first turn, right? So the first turn is, everybody's got the same stats. And this part's going to be different, right? So the character gets an extra attack at his full attack bonus, and every one of his attacks has a +2 to it. So I'm adding +2 to all of his attacks here. And then the monster just loses his last attack. Okay. So now I got to make an adjustment to the combat, which is that the character loses 3 hit points, the monster loses 11 hit points, right? And then this all stays the same, and then this is just flipped, right? That's character and the monster. So now this is the other turns. Is the original combat plus the adjustment for the weird first turn, except minus, right? Because you're minusing hit points. And then we just do the original combat here, right? And then the answer just comes from here instead of here. This works on the example. There's edge cases I got to worry about, which is what if the first turn ends the battle? So if the turns needed is 1, then the opponent's hit points remaining is already there, right? If this person's only needs 1 turn, then their opponent's hit point is here. Otherwise, then we go to multiple rounds, because it is possible that that first round will end the combat. And that, I believe, will account for that. So 1,000 points. You get 2 questions wrong if you don't account for that edge case. Smallest number that has the sides greater than 100, or sides greater than 1,000. So let's do this. So let's do the sum of the sequence of this, right? And then X match 1,000 on here of type 1. This is easy. And I mean, you could remember the formula, or you could just use it in Python, right? So what do I need? This is going to be the sum of the range of 10 to the 7th plus 1 is how that works in Python. Sum of the damage for all 6 monsters is just that. All right, now we're going to have the character fight everybody. So move this over here. And why don't I'll have the character be the attacker like 6 times, right? So this is the character attacking the monsters 6 times. And then I'm going to bring in the monsters like right over here, and now say this. So this is what happens with the character attacking the monster. And what did we say about the character? The character's on level 20, which is good, because otherwise he can't hit some of these guys. So the character's on level 20. And the monsters are there. So that is the character attacking the monster. And then over here is going to be the monsters attacking the character. The first 3 monsters cannot hit the character at all. This guy does 2.5 damage. So this minus this, tells you who goes into this fight, and then this minus this is what you have going into the last fight. So the character starts with 157. The pit boss is going to do 54 per turn, right? So this divided by this means that the pit boss only needs 3 turns to kill the guy. So what is the guy going to do to the pit boss in 3 turns? So this is the character attacking the pit boss. No, the character does 54. That's not what I want. Yeah, the pit boss is going to take 4 turns to kill the guy. So the guy gets 4 turns. So the pit boss is going to win minus 4 turns of fighting times the character's damage is how much the winner has left. The pit boss will have 84 left at the end of that. All right, now for this, I think this would actually work better. Let's see, if I make the character level 20 and the monster, and I'll make a copy of this, which I don't really need, but I'll do it anyway. So the monsters, let's see if the orc could attack this guy. He can't. The orc and lower guys cannot attack this guy. It's only the troll that's going to be able to hit him. So the troll on his first turn does 2.25 and gets wrecked immediately. Right? So the troll has done 2.25 damage, leaving the guy with 174. Right? And then the next the next monster is the dragon, right? So 145 is the answer here. So that means that the dragon dies when the guy has done 145, right? So if I take 176, that's the problem is I rounded. Rounding's going to cause a problem. I gotta go backwards. I got to do the troll with no rounding. All right, so the troll with no rounding, the answer is this, right? So that's what the guy has left at the end of the troll. Then the dragon with no rounding, right? This is how much the guy has left after killing the dragon, which again, I can't, I gotta worry about rounding. So it's the maximum of these. So how much damage has been done to the guy total so far, right? What is he going to have going into the fight with the pit fiend or pit boss or pit whatever it is? All right, he's taken 33.75 damage. So this fight is just exactly as it is in real life, except that this guy's going to go into the fight with 176 minus, what was it, 33 point something? 32.25. He's going to go into the fight with 32.25 hit points missing. Other than that, it's just a regular level 7 fight. Right? So then the pit error versus the level 20 character, but with the cheated stats I just gave the character, 47 hit points is how much he has left. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.